The other week I went to the theaters and saw The Batman. It was the very first time watching a Batman movie on the big screen for the first time. Not my first DC movie, however, but my first Batman movie. And I must say, I truly loved every moment this film had to offer. It didn't feel wasted, and yes, the film was circa 3 hours long, but I didn't mind it and I enjoyed every second of it. I will be talking about this film, what I thought about it, and I will avoid mentioning spoilers for it since I highly recommend it. And I want you to have a good time enjoying it as well. I also think people should give it a chance to watch it before jumping to conclusions. Oh, it's over 3 hours long, it's bad. Or, Robert Pattinson didn't fit as the Batman. Yeah, I get it, Twilight was miserable, and it sucked, for multiple reasons. But don't blame the actor for a bad movie. Pattinson was actually great in his role as the Batman. He felt very engaged and lived fully into the character. I honestly didn't mind him and gave him a chance, and honestly, I wasn't disappointed, in fact. I was rather impressed in his acting capabilities. Let's face it, we could have gotten a way much worse actor to play the legendary Caped Crusader. But he was alright. Not the best, but solid enough to save this film. Now, let's talk a bit about the movie, shall we? Again, no spoilers, as I mentioned in the beginning. The movie was fantastic. I, once again mentioned, I highly recommend it. It was extremely dark and gruesome, like most DC movies are. The story had me always on the edge of the seat, as they always threw in something new to look forward to. The world this movie presented is much darker than I imagined, and I saw in previous Batman movies. We really got to see a more different view of Gotham's lower level of society, how it looked like, the 2 points of views of Gotham's population, being the rich and the poor's perspective. The story was taking place in modern time Gotham, sometime in the 21st century. You may ask, how do I know it? Well, obviously, I saw the film, and noticed that they used touch phones multiple times in the movie. They still keep the old vintage style clothing, which I do always appreciate, since it truly brings out the best mood for Gotham City. It catches the feeling of never-aging 1960s Gotham. I don't mind it, I do love myself some vintage classic lifestyle. This movie nailed it, the feeling perfectly. One of my favorite things in this film is that it reminds me a lot of the Batman series from 2004-2008, which lasted for 5 seasons, in which Batman is new to Gotham, and he begins his early career as the Batman. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you definitely should give this show a chance as well. Like in the show, Gotham PD doesn't trust Batman fully. The police force is divided into 2 sides. The one which likes him and wishes him to cooperate with him in order to solve crimes in Gotham. Let's call it the Gordon team, since we all like and adore Commissioner Gordon for the Chad he is. And then we've got the douchebag team, who constantly mocks his outfit and doesn't wish to do anything with him, other than view him as a freak of nature. Now, let's talk more about the characters, shall we? Commissioner Gordon, my man, played by Jeffrey Wright, was incredible in this film, probably my favorite character out of them all, except for the Batman, of course. He truly nailed the style of being Commissioner Gordon. Catwoman, aka Selina Kyle, was decent, not as great as she was in the animated series, where she had more style and better personality, but she was alright in this film. Now on to my least favorite characters, and honestly my worst. And it's to no surprise the Commissioner in this film. And it's the Commissioner before Gordon gets promoted to Commissioner that I'm talking about. His name is Pete Savage. He's a real awful guy. Honestly, all commissioners before Gordon were all terrible people, now that I think about it. I'm so glad Gordon was there at least. Now, my second least favorite. Oh god, I probably get a lot of hate for this, but here it goes. This is my opinion. There's nothing you can do about it. I didn't like Alfred in this film. It honestly doesn't mean I hate the character, but I just didn't like him in this film. The Alfred in this movie was bad. I just didn't like the Alfred in this movie which it had to offer. He was by far the worst Alfred I've ever seen. He's not iconic. He's not as good as the other Alfreds we have seen in previous movies and different genres and shows. Heck, I'd rather have the Lego Batman Alfred. He's an absolute Chad in my eyes. Anyway, let's talk about my favorite part, the villains. Oh boy, this is where it gets really juicy. I absolutely love the villains in the Batman Rogues Gallery, as I think it's one of the best villainous characters ever created in fiction. This movie nailed it, with the Riddler being the main antagonist of the film. Batman doesn't know who the Riddler is, and is the first time encountering this hidden psycho killer, and tries every step of the way by solving his headful tactics, to say it more politely. Now, the El Pingüino. Yeah, you get it, the penguin, as well in this film. And yeah, he is a well-written character too. I know he's great, because my sister couldn't stop talking about him after the film. Anyway, I'm trying not to give away all the details how great this film truly was. I can safely say this film was not like any other Batman films I've ever seen. It definitely feels unique in a very different way, and it's a very good way. That's why I highly recommend it. You give it a chance, and if you don't like it, share your opinion in the comment section below. With that said, thanks for making it till the end. And as always, have a great night. See you next time. Peace out.